Hi, how you doing? I'm Seth.
I'm Will.
We're here today with episode 4 of Ask Seth, and we're going to talk about how to get better Wi-Fi at home.
What's with the getup?
What getup is that?
The whole Uncle Rico, Napoleon Dynamite vibe.
I don't know what Uncle Rico is.
Well, can you throw a football over that mountain over there?
I'm about over a mountain, but I can probably get 65, 70 yards probably.
I don't think you could.
Yeah. Check this out.
Oh yeah.
That's the one.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Did it hit?
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I tossed that football.
I do enjoy slinging the rock around, but I actually like giving our clients better Wi-Fi more than slinging the football even. So
Okay.
we've had a lot of calls lately and inquiries on our website about how to get better Wi-Fi, and we've also had a lot of homes that we go to for new clients where we look at what's in place and just go, wow, this is bad. So we don't want you to be one of those bad homes, so we want to go over some basics about how to get better Wi-Fi in your house.
Let's do it.
I'd say the first thing we see probably most often is don't have multiple network names. So I had a house I went to about a week ago, and the couple had 5 network names in a relatively smaller home. House 1, House 2, House 3, family room, master bedroom. You want to have one name, because what happens when you walk around, if this football is an iPhone, when you walk around the house, your phone gets confused. It goes, what am I connecting to here? Am I going to house 1, house 2, house 3? What's going on here? And some of the fringe areas of the home, the phone was still trying to connect to an access point that's far away as opposed to the one that's in that area. So always want to have one name as opposed to 5.
You do.
5 bad, 1 good. So that's a basic one. I would say also the Goldilocks syndrome.
Okay.
You don't want too many Wi-Fi extenders. You don't want too few.
No.
You want it to be just right. So let's say, for example, if you have a 2,500 square foot home, you're probably going to need 2 to 3 and possibly 4, depending on where you've got tile, where you've got water heaters. We had a house we did a while ago. Mark, you might remember we had foil-backed wallpaper, and that completely killed the Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
But if in your 2,500 square foot home, you've got 9 access points, that's a problem. Things get confused. It would kind of be like if Will and I went to the restaurant, talking to each other, blah, 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 we can hear each other fine. Let's say then happy hour kicks in though, we've got 40 people around us. It's gonna be a lot harder to hear what's going on. It's kind of the same thing. If you have too many access points, it makes for a lot of confusion. If you have too few, of course, it's not gonna work because you get too far away from your access point, your device can no longer get Wi-Fi. So
Is this restaurant days maybe?
don't know.
Okay.
I'll let you make the call on that.
I'll pick days. I'm over.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Sorry. Maybe if they become a sponsor at some point, we'll change our tune.
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Another thing also is we see a lot of times where clients will take their iPhone and they'll look at the bars and they'll go, oh, I got 3 bars, so I'm good. Where there are 3 bars, they might be getting 5 megabits per second instead of the 300 that they're getting from the provider. So you don't want to use the bars on your iPhone to determine how good or bad your signal is.
Yeah, take those with a grain of salt for sure.
Yep. 2 tools that we use a lot that are free. Free is for me. I like free. Speed test, speedtest.net. Don't go to another speed test because it might be some virus-laden site. But speedtest.net. And then there's another free program called Insider, and it's Insider like SSID, so 2 S's instead of 1. Insider we like a lot because it lets you see the signal strength in the house. So for example, let's say we got a house. I'm thinking of a house we did a little while ago. House is about 4,500 square feet, and there's a really long hallway. So I was able to take my computer with Insider, walk down the hallway, and as I walk down the hallway and keep going, my computer is showing me the signal strength in that area in decibels, so I could really narrow down where those access points need to be. Again, you want it to be just right, not too much, not enough. Insider also let you see what the devices see. So my network might be great, but I've got a device with a 2009 Wi-Fi card or something like that, and the Wi-Fi card is bad, so that device can't see the network, but the network is great. So that's a thing. Don't use the bars. And then speed test. So big mistake we see with speed test a lot is I might be paying for 300 megabits per second, let's say. So I go right to my router right there. I do my speed test. Hey, 300. I walk away from my router. I go to, we'll imagine this Martin Logan center channel. There's some advertising for you, Martin Logan. This Martin Logan center channel is in a Apple TV. And I'm like, why is my Apple TV not connecting? I want to take my testing device. I want to put it right where that is. I want to turn my Wi-Fi off on the device, give it 5 seconds, and turn it back on. And the benefit of that is that makes your device forget about the other access point it might have been tied to, and it lets it see what's ever in that place. Then run speed test twice. I don't know why twice seems to work better.
Never hurts, you know, double stamp it.
Double stamp, yep. It seems like the second reading is always the most accurate one. But speed test, we see a lot of people that use it, that they don't do that Wi-Fi off and on thing, and then they get confused. Because, for example, this area might be getting 3 megabits per second on their speed test because this device is still seeing the access point in the other room instead of the, I don't know, 80 or something that might see if you did it correctly. What else we got, Will? We got, let's go over size of house and application.
Let's talk about size.
So we had one of our guys went to a customer's house who called, hey, I need a hand with Wi-Fi. And when our guy got there, he saw the house was 16,000 square feet.
It's pretty big.
It's a lot of square feet.
It is.
More square feet than I know your house is 15,000, so I mean that's you're close, but you're not up to the 16,000 that we saw.
Got the vaulted ceilings, 30-foot ceilings. You know,
You got the horse heads hanging from the wall. I don't think people actually shoot horses and stuff them.
No.
You might have a bison or an elk, but
yeah, or
I haven't seen too many horses.
maybe a gargoyle here and there if you live in Gotham, like Batman. I don't know.
I was actually just watching that show. Good show. We'll talk about Gotham in a future episode. We talk about good shows.
I saw it too. It is good
on Netflix. But so you got a 16,000 square foot house. Let's say you need to get a new roof.
Yeah.
You got a 6-figure bill for that. Your smaller house might have a much lesser bill. My house didn't have a 6-figure roofing bill. You're getting carpet in a 16,000 square foot house. That's going to be a big carpet bill. Same goes with Wi-Fi network. If you need to cover that entire house and property, it's going to cost you a lot more. And this particular client said, I just want to go buy some Google mesh units. It's not going to work. It's not the tool for what that house needs.
Yeah, if you have a $4,000 landscape bill each month, then you're probably going to have a Wi-Fi that's going to be pretty complex and set up like you have in a commercial spot.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's part of the deal. You own a castle, and you got to pay for the things that come along with it. The other thing also is you got a 16,000 square foot house. Yeah. There's a good chance you've got a lot of devices in that house. Devices meaning iPads, iPhones, Apple TVs, Rokus, solar panels, smart lighting systems, shades, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And when you have tons of devices, your standard basic network products from eero, Google, Netgear, and even the basics from the Araknises and Luxels and Ubiquitys of the world, they can't handle that many devices. We had a job we worked on a couple years back where the client would have work sessions / parties. Yeah. So I don't know, you probably have from like 30 to 80 people at one time. Oh, 30 to 80 people would come. They'd all have their devices online.
Okay.
So, let's say you had average, we'll just go 180 devices from there.
Right.
Then that house had, Danny, I don't know how many we had out there, 200 devices or something. All those devices, your standard networking products, they literally can't see them all. There's what's called a DHCP pool of IP addresses, and it's too many for your standard networking products to handle. So you got something like that going, you're going to need to have a better network. So that was another thing, is just making sure you got the right tool for the right job.
Yeah, your average 2-person home has 15, 20 devices without even knowing it. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Then we get to our favorite movie character, Karl.
I reckon I like me some Wi-Fi.
We like to talk about Karl from Sling Blade, one of the greatest movies ever, if you haven't seen it. When we talk about do the simplest things first. So Karl has an iconic line, ain't no gas in it. Where Karl is a character, I don't want to give away too much about the movie, but Karl's a character, he's got an IQ of probably 62, probably Forrest Gump sort of level.
A little bit.
But he's a mechanical whiz, and he works at the lawnmower store. One of the lawnmower employees, he's tinkering on this lawnmower. He goes, I can't figure it out, I've been working for half hour. Karl strolls over, looks at it for 3 seconds, ain't no gas in it. Proprietor goes, man, Karl, he always thinks of the simplest things first. And that's very important when it comes to networking stuff. Yeah. Not to know if there's gas in a lawnmower, but to know things like, let's say there's 30 devices in your house. Johnny tries to play Roblox on his iPad. Help, my iPad isn't working. The network must be down. Take a look at those other 29 devices. If those 29 devices are all working, then we know your network isn't down. It's just Johnny's iPad that most likely needs to be power cycled, and then you're in business. If all 30 devices are down, then we know, okay, it's either a problem with the provider, and we'll talk about that, or it's a problem with your modem and router. And most of the time, when that happens, unplug them, 30 seconds, plug them back into the power, and then you're good to go. So the old ain't gas in it is definitely important.
Oh yeah, I reckon it is.
It is important. That sounds simplistic about the devices, but we get that all the time where somebody will complain about Johnny's iPad and they're saying the network is down. It's not, it's just that device.
Yeah.
I think the other thing with networks is also know how important the network is to you. So for example, if your network needs are Johnny's iPad and you to watch Netflix on your Apple TV,
okay,
you probably don't have don't delegate the same importance to your network as we had a client a little while ago who was responsible for all COVID distributions of medication and this and that. I don't know how exactly all that works out, but he was responsible for all that apparently. And so his needs, probably really important. So if you've got important needs for your network, you don't want to be Google Mesh guy and I have 2 Google devices for my 5,500 square foot house and I've got a switch, Ethernet switch from 2014 in this thing. You're going to want a complex network, whether you want to pay for it or not, but you're going to want to have that.
Yeah.
You're going to want to have tools that let you know if you're seeing network drops or not. You're going to want to have tools to basically, if things go down, to reset everything for you.
yeah.
And so you're going to want a better network. So kind of know your needs.
Yeah, if you're teaching yoga classes remotely from your house with your Zoom calls, or if you're running a sales team from your home, your desk at home, yeah, you're probably going to want a managed network that's either a mesh network or something complex. But yeah.
Yeah. I'd say then the last thing probably when it comes to getting good Wi-Fi is know your capabilities. So if you are super network guy,
Yeah.
where you can take all spare parts you find in this drawer right here, I don't know if there's any network parts in here, and build yourself a router and network, you probably are good when it comes to, hey, what's going on with the network?
We had that in the comments. We saw that a lot of hardcore network guys that are into industry, setting up networks, they do it for a living. They choose eero to set up at their home. So that's how you know eero, which is a network that we install and sell. That's when you know it's a decent network.
Yeah, that's a good point. But if you're the person who might not know the difference between having 5 network names in one,
Yeah.
if you're the person that might think your network is down when Johnny's iPad goes down, nothing wrong with you. I think you're a great person. However, you might want to have some sort of professional like us, whoever's in your area, help you with that sort of stuff, or help you out with that sort of stuff to just make sense of things.
Yeah, because you could accidentally turn features off and on that need to stay on if you don't know the complex networks, like certain features. Like we've been in homes where little Billy set up the network throughout the house, which was fine, it was working, but there were certain features that were blocking other devices from working into the network. So
yeah. But that pretty much sums up some of the basic network stuff. We'll put a couple of links in the description that also go into more detailed networking and some of our network products. But thank you for spending time with us. Please like and subscribe so we can continue to keep making these here videos. And then we'll bust out in episode 5 shortly to go over the next questions that we have on our YouTube page.
That wraps up episode 4. Have a good one.
Yep, have a good one.